Hello folks, this is Anthony with livingtheend.com, and today this is part 2 of the cause and effect series. The one before this we spoke about the ego, and so just to recap real quick, your experience out in the 3D world, out in your world, your reality, that experience is the effect of your assumptions, your thoughts, your conceptions, and your perceptions of yourself and the world around you. Okay? Now, most people don't have a problem with that. I generally don't get any flack from that. I get, you know, they kind of understand that, and they've heard of, the reprogramming the subconscious mind and so on and so forth, and so they're on board with that. But those things are the cause. That's the cause of those effects that you are experiencing in the 3D world. Now, if I was to tell you that you are the cause of what you experience in your 3D world, that's when people lose their cookies. That's when they have a hissy fit and they say, no, I wouldn't do that. There's no reason for that. I wouldn't think that way. Why would I want to bring that on myself? Okay. That's what happens. And that instant pushback is coming from their ego. And we spoke about that in the previous video. So I'm not going to go into any more detail on that. You go check out the previous video. Now, as far as the cause is your thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, perceptions of yourself and the world around you, that is exactly how you experience your 3D world. And that stuff can come in, you can get those assumptions, those perceptions from all sorts of stuff. Most of the time it happens from the age of 0 to 7 or 8 is when we get most of our what's called our core beliefs, and then we go from there, and those can change over time. We can have different core beliefs based upon things that happen, and then we accept those things that happen as true, and then it becomes a belief. All right? So, take for instance, manifesting. Most of us, when we were in our teens, we didn't know what manifesting was. We had no idea. I didn't. I had no clue. Didn't even know the definition of the word, let alone that people would go out there and create their own world by quote unquote manifesting. Okay? And so with that, we can create our destiny. We can create the world that we live in. Okay? And because of that, we can have, be, and do just about anything that we want to. Well, not just about anything that we want to. Okay? Now, the issue that we have is with those thoughts and perceptions. So let's say that you were in a relationship. Okay, I'm going to use SP because that's the biggest one that people go for. You were in a relationship, and I'm going to talk about money too. And in this relationship, you guys split up for whatever reason. Okay, let's say that you did something that they didn't like, and now you've broken trust and whatnot. Okay, and they've told you this over and over and over again. And so now in your mind, every time you think of this individual, you either go back and you replay things that happened, things that were said, things that were done. Okay? You replay that in your head over and over and over again. Okay? You have it on repeat. Those thoughts and those perceptions is what's keeping you from a relationship with that individual. If you change those thoughts and perceptions and assumptions that you have, which is now the cause, those thoughts, perceptions, that's the cause. If you change that cause, then the effect changes. And the effect is what you experience in your 3D world. Okay? So now you have this individual who used to view you in your mind as somebody that did this to them or said this to them, and there was a trust issue. But now there is no trust issue in your mind, in your perception, and so now that trust issue disappears. What really happened is you moved from one state to the next, and within that state that you moved to is the version of them and the version of you, because you're the one who changes, is a version of you that is trustworthy. That's what really happened. Okay? So how do we change and work with this? Okay? There are some out there that will tell you just decide what it is that you want, claim it for yourself at that moment, and boom, it's already done. That's true. That is absolutely true. But we live from moment to moment. Okay? Our mind stitches it every moment together and makes it look like it's seamless, like everything is moving, everything is flowing in a direction, everything has its natural course given certain circumstances. All right? That's not necessarily true. That's what we experience and that's what it looks like, but that's not what's happening. You're shifting from state to state in microseconds. All right? And you can make a decision right now to be a certain person, and boom, you are that person for that moment. Stitch enough of those moments together, and you now are flowing in your 3D experience as that person. And as that person, the reflections that are coming back to you from the 3D world are as that person. Your 3D world is reflecting that back to you. So that's how this all works. This is where that phrase awareness comes in. And you'll hear me talk about awareness all the time. That's where this comes in. Is because you now need to be aware of the record that's playing in your mind. Okay? If you want and desire a relationship with this individual, sorry for the beeps, that's my car, then you need to be aware of what the record is playing in your head. What kind of thoughts, feelings, assumptions, and perceptions are you having? And once you get a grasp of that and understand that if you're having thoughts and feelings and assumptions that are opposing where you want to be, then you need to change those in that moment back to where you want to be, back to the person that you desire to be. All right? But the problem is that is that we'll get in that and we're not aware that now we've been in an argument with this individual for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And remember, what happens in your imagination is just as real as if it was happening right in front of you. So if you're having an argument with this individual in your head, they're sensing something at that very same moment. Because remember, in the fourth dimension, once you get past the third dimension, there's no time and space. Everything is happening now. Okay? Everything. So if you're having an argument with this individual, you pop up in their mind and it's not good for them. What pops up in their mind is possibly the same argument that you're having in your mind. It's going to be along the same basis. So this is why it's so vitally important that you get a grasp on your thoughts so that you can steer your thoughts into the direction that you want your life to go in every moment that's possible. Okay? There's going to be some where you're driving along and stuff and you're looking at the trees and you're looking at whatever you're looking at, and then nothing is, you're not thinking of the relationship. There's nothing bad or anything like that. All right? But if it comes into your mind, if the individual comes into your mind, have a set of affirmations to speak to yourself, and never speak against yourself. Just like I said in the previous video, don't speak against yourself. Never. Always speak for yourself. Always. Okay? And I will create a video that actually talks about that as well. All right? Our attention span is really, really short, and I'm already over my 8 minutes by 4 minutes, so I got to cut this short. Otherwise, you guys are going to fall asleep or something. So anyway, be aware of your conversation that you're having with yourself. And then within that awareness, if you are thinking of something or you're having internal conversations that are opposing you in some form or fashion, change it to an affirmation that supports you. All right? Thanks for listening, folks. And if you like this content, please leave a like. And if you'd like more of it, subscribe. Thanks for listening, folks, and remember, you've got this.